Hey guys, most people are gonna fail in 2025. That's just the truth. It's like that poem by Heraclitus. Out of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are real fighters, and we're lucky to have them because they make up the meat of the battle. But the one is a true warrior, and he'll bring everybody home. And so in 2025, people are going to fail, and it's not because they're not smart enough. It's not because they're not talented enough. It's because they're gonna make these 3 mistakes that I'm gonna talk about in today's video, and I'm gonna give you guys these mistakes so that you can avoid them and actually succeed in 2025. Okay, that's my promise to you. Is if you want to win in 2025, you need to avoid these pitfalls, man. I was just talking to my brother, and he works for a guy that's been in business for about 30 years. And he's watching this guy that's been in business for decades make some mistakes. And he's like, this guy's about to he might end up losing it all. And my brother's like, man, can you imagine going 30 years and then all of a sudden everything in your life comes crashing down? So my brother's like watching this guy, watching this business owner, learning from him, this leader. And he's like, I'm just not going to make those mistakes. That's how winners succeed. So let's talk about the pitfalls. Let's talk about the 3 mistakes that people are going to make in 2025 that's going to cause them to fail so that you guys don't make them. By the way, I'm Jeremiah Sullivan. I was a small town kid. I grew up with 3 brothers in the mountains of Northern California. I used to hunt bear with my dad. I had very, very small thinking. I wanted to be successful in life, just didn't know how. And anyways, I ended up turning my whole life around by working on my mindset. I became an infantry officer, an Army Ranger in special operations. And I also became an infantry commander. I was the officer in charge of about 130 infantry soldiers on my last deployment to Afghanistan. So I've got 4 deployments. And now today I help entrepreneurs, leaders, working professionals. I help them transform their businesses, their lives, and their bodies. And I help them get what they want even faster. So let's dive in. The 3 mistakes that people make, you guys can write this down, it'll help you remember it, okay? The 3 mistakes that people will make in 2025, you can remember this with the ABCs, okay? So there are 3 mistakes, and those 3 mistakes are A, B, and C. And I'm gonna cover all 3 of them. So mistake number 1 that people are gonna make in 2025 that's gonna cause them to fail is that when adversity hits, the A stands for adversity. They will not overcome adversity. When their fucking dog dies, which my dog died, and that ripped my fucking heart out. When I was in Ranger School, there were guys out there that in Ranger School, one of the things that they do, it's a 62-day highly intensive leadership and small unit tactics school. Okay, so Ranger School was something that I did. I also did air assault school, airborne school, recon school. But one of the things that when I was in Ranger School that you got evaluated on was your peer evaluations, how well you did against peers. And a lot of guys would get low peer evals, or they would go do a mission, which you would get evaluated on your mission, and you wouldn't pass, you would fail, you would get what's called a no-go. And when they got that no-go, they would get all inside of their head, and they would just quit on themselves and convince themselves that because they got the no-go, because they failed, they weren't going to make it through the entire school. And every phase, you would have 2 shots at every mission, or 2 missions where you could get a pass. You had to pass at least one of them to advance. And if you got 2 of them, you would be dropped and you'd have to start over. So these guys would go out in Ranger School, and I remember this one guy that we had, and he got a no-go, and it was like this dark cloud just came over the top of him. You know, he failed this mission, and he was like, every time I saw this dude, we were walking through the mountains, and it was like he had a dark cloud over him. His head was down. He had glasses, which were always getting fogged up. He had his night vision goggles on at night. And we used to have like all of our equipment tied down to us, right? Because the military in Ranger School, they didn't want you to lose your equipment because NVGs, night vision goggles, are very expensive, and those are a sensitive item. So we would tie everything down. So he's walking through the woods, you know, and if you guys have been in Ranger School, you remember that shit. You're like walking through Ranger School and you can't really see shit except for the guy in front of you. Plus, if you went in the winter, it's cold out there, your glasses are fogging up, they make you wear clear eye pro. And I remember him just being like that all the time, just looking down, having the worst day of his life every day. And it was like, oh my God. And this guy ended up not only not passing Ranger School, but he stayed there for some ridiculous amount of time, like almost a year. He set almost a course record, if I remember correctly, where he got recycled and he was in Ranger School for almost a whole damn year, bro. And it was all because he never learned how to overcome adversity. So the adversity in your life is the first mistake that everybody's going to fail on. They're going to hit a bad day. There's going to be a bad day in 2025 for you. But can you get back on track and stay on track and accomplish your goals? Can you stay committed to your daily disciplines and your commitments? So that's the A. B is that the next mistake people will make in 2025. Hey, guys. Kiba, off. Epic, off. I keep it real with you guys. My dogs are out here chasing possums right now. Hold on. Hey, off. Good boy. All right, so the second mistake people are going to make is that they won't be brutally honest with themselves. That's what the B stands for. Brutal honesty. And I don't mean just once in the year. I mean every single day. In order for you to really advance in life, people will avoid the truth. Okay? Machiavelli had this term called the effectual truth, which is the truth. What your actions say about you, what your results say about you is the truth, and what you say is not the truth. So a lot of times people will convince themselves, they will say, I'm going to train, I'm going to follow through, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to grow my business, I'm going to take it to the next level, I'm going to improve my marriage, I'm going to change my lifestyle. And they won't be brutally honest with themselves in that they're not on why. They won't be brutally honest with themselves every single day and confront the areas where they're not doing the work that they need to. So people will procrastinate, right? They'll procrastinate instead of working on the business or working on the marriage. They'll say, yeah, I'm working on my business, I'm working on my marriage, I'm working on my health. But they won't be brutally honest with themselves and look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what? You're fucking lying to yourself. You haven't worked on any of this stuff since you've been talking about it. If you don't be brutally honest with yourself in 2025, you're going to go in circles in the areas of your life that you're trying to improve. I went in circles with business for almost 5 years because I wasn't being brutally honest. I was the guy that was working on business back in 2013, 12 or 13, 14, somewhere in there. And I would be good. I'd be working on it Monday through Friday, but Friday I would cut out early and then I would just fuck off on the weekend. And I was telling myself, I was pretending like I wanted to build a business, but I didn't really want to build it because I wasn't all in. But the real problem was that I wasn't being brutally honest with myself and calling myself out for cutting corners and having a part-time attitude. But once I fixed that, everything took off in my life. Changed my lifestyle. I moved to fucking Florida. I built a business helping thousands of people at this point. But it all started with me looking myself in the mirror and realizing that I was fucking lying to myself. I was drinking, I was cutting corners, I was fabricating a lot, I was talking to I wasn't being 100% truthful. And when you exaggerate, that's not being truthful. That's a lie. And I was an exaggerator. So brutal honesty is the second mistake. And the third mistake is consistency. People will not be consistent in 2025. Consistency, I used to think consistency was being solid Monday through Friday. No, motherfucker. Consistency at the elite level is 7 days a week. When I realized this, I started getting some mentorship. I started really studying successful people. And I realized that the guys that really won in business and in life and in leadership, they were the most consistent people. They didn't the most fit people I met, they never really took a day off. Their day off was like a recovery bike ride. And that was still a day on for most people, right? So what I learned is that consistency has levels, man. Part-timers, they're consistent maybe. The bottom of the barrel are consistent periodically, on occasion, right? Like a week, maybe 2-3 times a week they do the thing. And then at the average person, once they fucking start getting themselves going, the average consistent person is 5 days a week. That's like the bell curve. And then the elite, the very front side, they're consistent 7 days a week. So whatever your task is, regardless of what it is, you want to build a business, you want to change your fitness, you want to change your relationships, you want to build a better you have to apply yourself 7 fucking days a week. Does that mean you have to hustle and grind and work your face off and you can't have any balance? No, that doesn't mean that at all. I believe in having a life and living your life. That's actually one of the challenges that a person should go through when they're going through building something great, is they should learn that it's going to take a long time to build whatever you guys want to build. If you want to become a ranger, you want to become a SEAL, you want to become the next version leader that you have inside of your heart and your vision, you're going to have to it's going to take you a long motherfucking time to become and achieve that level that you're after. So in the interim, in between shots, can you actually enjoy your life while being consistent? Enjoying your life is not destroying your life. Enjoying your life isn't saying you're tight on money and then spending your weekend dropping hundreds of dollars, if not whatever. Like maybe you go to the strip club and you drop thousands. I don't know what the fuck you do with your money, but you're enjoying your life is not destroying your life and being incongruent with the ways that you're trying to grow it. Okay? You don't fucking you don't say you're trying to get in shape and then destroy yourself on the weekend. You don't say you're trying to do better with your money and then overspend all like crazy on the weekend. You don't say you're going to take your business to the next level but then not show up to fucking work and do your duty and lead your team and lead your people. You can hide from the stress of it all. Okay? So those are the 3 mistakes that people are going to make in 2025, guys. I don't want you to make those same mistakes. And I changed my life by working on my business for an hour a day while I was on active duty. Hour a day, every single day, 7 days a week minimum. And that was my focus. I just chipped away and chipped away. And if you work on something long enough, 30 days you're going to have momentum. 100 days you're going to have fucking some results. 300 days you're going to start seeing your transformation come through. But you have to have that consistency. That's what happened with me. And that's how I got out of the military and started building what I built today, is through consistency. Guys, I hope you love this video. What I want to know is, what's your number 1 goal for 2025? Why don't you fucking claim it here and then save this video, come back in 2026, and let's see who pulls off their goals, who avoids the mistakes, and who really makes themselves proud that they didn't fall into the pitfalls that I outlined with the ABCs that stop somebody from achieving their goal. Love you guys. And man, crazy shit going on in the world right now with all this stuff, like with the attacks. That's a video maybe for another time, or it's not really appropriate for this video, but life is short. Who knows where the fuck the country's headed right now? So do the work that you need to do every single day, enjoy your life, and build the best fucking you. Let's get it. Conquer all.